Welcome to the ultimate Florida Keys road trip. 4 parts, one unforgettable journey. From Key Largo to Key West, we're hitting all 3 sections of the Keys, upper, middle, and lower, with stops, eats, and hidden gems along the way. Buckle up, paradise is just a drive away. Grab a friend, adventure awaits. Today we kick off our Florida Keys road trip. The Keys are divided into 3 sections, upper, middle, and lower, and the entire length is labeled with mile markers from mile 107 in Key Largo to mile 0 in Key West. The first video will focus on the upper Keys as we travel south toward our eventual destination of Key West. Before we hit the Keys proper, we're making a quick stop at this local favorite that goes by the name of Robert is Here. This is the most diverse tropical fruit stand you may ever find. During your visit, browse the immense selection of fresh and unique produce, jellies and sauces, and even their giant jackfruit that grows right on the tree in the back of the store under the protection of the families of chickens roaming around the property. Take a few steps farther back, and you'll be treated to the petting zoo chock full of giant emus, tortoises, goats, and guinea hens. You'll find shaded seating, restrooms, and places for plenty of photo ops. But before you leave, make sure you grab a fresh fruit milkshake or smoothie for the road. Today we chose the strawberry and banana. Before long, you'll know when you're truly on the right road to the Keys when you see the pale blue median barrier and eventually the bright blue water. Our first stop in the Upper Keys on Key Largo is John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park. There's a modest $8 per person entrance fee, and it's so worth it because there's so much to see and do here. As part of the Great Florida Birding Trail, you'll get front row seats to all the wildlife this park has to offer. Come cool off inside the Visitor Center and Aquarium, where we were pleasantly surprised by the news that an entirely new building to house the center is in the works. For now, it houses displays on history, several beautiful aquariums, and even a theater. Outside, you'll find more history, a multitude of easygoing trails that lead to several clean beach access areas with typically calm water and picnic pavilions. There's a dive shop, a boat rental, and coral reef tour office, and even boat ramps.
Please keep watching, but take a second to hit that like button.
The well-stocked rental area, located behind the visitor center, has glass-bottom boat tours and plenty of kayaks and stand-up paddleboard rentals. Just over the bridge are more pavilions and the kayak launch beach if you plan on bringing your own vessel. The landing was clear, clean, and inviting. Touring the many mangrove forest paths and tunnels provided a respite from life on the fast-paced mainland. The quiet, calm waters where parrotfish swim underneath and herons hunt among the mangrove branches above surrounded us with a feeling you can't get anywhere else. When you finish your time on the water, there are plenty of showers and restrooms at the bathhouse across the street. And what ride is complete without a final stop in the gift shop? Directly across from the park, you can find more gifts and souvenirs as well as snacks and treats galore at the general store. They even sell bait. At mile marker 99, be sure to stop and see the African Queen, made famous in the 1951 movie of the same name starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. This famous steamboat is available for daily canal cruises and private events. And yes, it's really the boat used in the movie. It has quite a history, and it's all laid out for you on the walls. You can just stop by without booking a cruise. Just watch out for the sharks that patrol the waters below. At mile marker 97.5 lies the famous Shell World that has been here for over 50 years. Unlike many roadside tourist traps, this more upscale location has everything from home decor and resort wear to children's toys and a huge selection of, what else? Shells. Just a few miles away, at mile marker 93.6, you can visit the Laura Quinn Florida Keys Wild Bird Rehabilitation Center. But much needed donations are appreciated. A boardwalk allows you to visit all sorts of birds that are given a second chance at life here at the center. Mile marker 86.7 houses a tropical garden oasis known as Rain Barrel Village. It's lined with a collection of specialty shops offering a variety of local art, handmade crafts, and unique souvenirs. Before you leave, be sure to visit Betsy, the giant spiny lobster out front, and have your picture taken. We think one of the most unique and educational stops in the Upper Keys is Windley Key Fossil Reef Geological State Park. Found at mile marker 84.9 and costing only $2.50 per person, this location allows you to get an up-close look at how much of the coral limestone called keystone used in buildings and constructing the overseas railroad from 1908 to 1912 was used. The quarry shut down in the 1960s, but as you travel down the short, well-guided pathways through the park, you can see some of the original pieces of machinery used to cut this ancient coral rock from the earth.
It's party time.
We're all familiar with the various ecosystems found around Florida that exist today. From the famous beaches that surround the state, to the ecologically productive salt and freshwater wetlands that make up about 31% of Florida's area, including the Everglades, to the pine and hardwood forests where bear, deer, and panthers roam. But did you know that Florida didn't always look like this? If you go back in time, I don't mean hundreds or even thousands of years, but hundreds of thousands to millions of years ago, the shoreline of Florida fluctuated greatly. On many occasions, due to the changing sea levels over geologic time, Florida's landmass either doubled in size or shrank to a few small islands along the central ridge of the state. This means Florida would have been almost entirely covered in salt water. We know this happened mainly because of fossil evidence. One example is in 2024 when a diver found a mastodon tusk off the coast of Venice, Florida, in 25 feet of water. The only way this could have gotten offshore is if the seafloor were once land. Another example is the megalodon shark teeth you can find in Florida's rivers, like the Peace River in West Florida. And the third example refers us back to the Windley Keys limestone quarry. All of this rock was laid down by living animals we know to be coral. That means the state was covered in water. Not just once, and not for any short period of time. This is consistent across the entire state as evidenced by limestone outcroppings, sinkholes, freshwater springs, and seashells everywhere you dig. Florida has some amazing natural history. Go out and find it for yourself. Now let's talk about key lime pie. We made it a point to try all sorts of this Florida Keys staple. Some were sweet and some had bite, but all were tasty in their own right, especially the one with ginger snap crust. After all these, we would like to give a small shout out to Blonde Giraffe and Tavernier Key. They made our favorite key lime pie and have at least 4 different kinds to choose from. At mile marker 83, for just $15, you can experience the History of Diving Museum. The beautifully muraled exterior only hints at the wonders you'll discover inside. It's a must-see for any diver buff or lover of the sea. Finally, if you're looking for a great place to watch the sunset, check out Breezer's Tiki Bar. You can't get views more beautiful than this. Our main shout out today goes to the very special Island Dolphin Care found at mile marker 100. This non-profit organization provides dolphin-assisted therapy and marine science education tours and interactions to children and adults with special needs, from individuals with autism to wounded veterans. Their custom therapy programs deliver life-changing experiences.
Today's adventure brings us to the middle of the Florida Keys, specifically Marathon Key, where we visit an iconic bridge, explore an award-winning beach, and take a bite out of an ocean problem. Literally.
The Middle Keys include several islands with names like Conch, Duck, and Pigeon Key. At mile marker 47, you'll begin to cross the famous 7-mile bridge. The turquoise water beckons all who look upon it. As you travel, you'll notice a second bridge to your right. That's the old highway, which was replaced between 1978 and 1983. Its dilapidated beams and rails have been left to slowly crumble into the sea. The trees growing on the surface of the bridge help to speed up that disintegration. Keep an eye out for a local celebrity, Fred the Tree. This Australian pine stands as a living symbol of resilience on this subtropical island chain. At mile marker 36, Bay Honda State Park comes into view. Whether it's your first time to the Keys or you live here year-round, this is one of the quintessential places to visit for everything it has to offer. We brought along our inflatable paddle boards. Even these sulfur butterflies got excited about the adventure we were about to have. Once we loaded up and secured the boards into the boat, we took off for our adventure. One of the first things we wanted to see up close was the famous bridge. This bridge once carried nothing but railroad cars until after 1938, when it was converted to a road after a hurricane destroyed most of the train tracks. You are warned not to boat under the spans of the old bridge due to dangerous falling debris. Bay Honda has a couple of beautiful beaches, often listed among the top in the country due to its soft white sand and calm clear waters. Adjacent to the Gulfside Beach is a waterfront camping area that includes boat dockage. The campground stretches out along the waterfront, where we noticed some quite elaborate setups by some quite eager campers.
Please keep watching, but take a second to hit that like button.
As we approached our next stop, we anchored and took a break to enjoy a picnic breakfast on the bow of the skiff. Afterward, we jumped in the clear, shallow water and looked for wildlife. The first thing we found was a queen conch. These are protected species and mustn't be collected. Go free, queen! We hopped on the paddle boards and soon discovered a small fever of spotted eagle rays circling us. They just slapped the surface and made a wide arc over the shallows. Some big storms skirted the island, but never got close enough for us to make a run for shore. So we motored back to the campground and anchored at a small island, where we found these young green iguanas munching away on a plant. We then ventured out to a rocky ledge that became exposed by the outgoing tide. As the water rushed out to sea, the limestone shelf provided an opportunity to explore. It was riddled with many tide pools, filled with thousands of tiny brown snails, larger, faster-moving yellow snails, small fish, and rare creatures like this chitin. We paddled into the mangroves and then headed to the park's camp and gift shop.
It's party time.
This beautiful fish is Pterois volitans, or the lionfish. They are native to the Indo-Pacific, but since the 1990s, their population in the waters around Florida has been on a shocking rise. We even saw them when snorkeling in Key West. Today, their presence threatens to destroy our beautiful coral reefs because they are voracious eaters, devouring anything that will fit into their gaping mouths. On top of that, they have no predators here. Efforts are being made to stop their dangerous spread. Many communities host an annual lionfish derby to motivate fishermen and divers to harvest the invasive fish. Some restaurants have even started serving lionfish so you can help take a bite out of this meddlesome environmental problem. Today, our shout out goes to Castaway Waterfront Restaurant on Marathon Key. We parked our skiff in the lot and were immediately impressed by their enchanting nautically themed decor. Here, lionfish is on the menu. The owner actually goes out over the reef and catches them. Then, they're brought to the kitchen and prepared fresh. You can order yours in many styles. I ordered mine wreck diver style, a simple, rustic method for preparing fresh fish that includes a citrusy, buttery sauce with wine, garlic, tomatoes, basil, and capers. So save a reef, eat a lionfish. The Peg Leg Penman approves. We finished our evening at Castaway with 2 drinks called the Sailor's Sedative and the Drunken Elephant Martini. But after what we saw out back off the dock, we thought the Drunken Elephant would have been more aptly named the Drinking Manatee. These 2 gentle giants spent quite a while catching the fresh water dripping into the canal. Sure, they don't need to drink fresh water directly all the time, but they prefer it when they can get it.
Escape with us to the lower Florida Keys. Crystal clear waters, tiny deer encounters, and lively local hangouts await. Discover the best things to do in this tropical paradise.
This quiet part of the Keys that runs from mile marker 40 to mile marker 5 is known for eclectic restaurants, a strong sense of community, native wildernesses, and rich history. We stayed at the modestly priced Palmer's Resort on Little Torch Key. They offer a unique collection of cottages, suites, efficiency studios, and rooms spread out over 5 acres. If leisure is your plan, then this place is for you. They have a swimming pool with plenty of lounge chairs and even their own 90-foot beach with kayaks and paddleboards, and there are numerous options to relax on the waterfront and enjoy what nature has to offer. We even saw a Cassiopeia, otherwise known as the upside-down jellyfish. They have their own boat ramp and dockage, which we used, and right across the street, there's ample parking for your trailer. We kept our boat here safely overnight while we explored. All the rooms and cottages have cute ocean-themed names. We stayed in a basic king room called Marlin. It was large enough to store our 12-foot paddleboards, and the room had all the basic amenities. A standard continental breakfast awaited us in the morning with cookies, lemonade, and coffee available all day. An office area and ice machine are also available, and they have bags of ice you can purchase for outings. For those who've checked out, they offer use of the resort facilities all day. This shower with fresh linens was a blessing after boating all day and before our road trip back north. Just enjoying the sunsets and breezes here at Palmer's Resort made the stay worthwhile.
Please keep watching, but take a quick second to hit that like button.
Our first adventure took us to Blue Hole on Big Pine Key. Wherever you are on this large island, always be on the lookout for the tiny key deer. This one surprised me at the overlook. There are turtles and alligators in this rare freshwater pond that was once a quarry, but is now an important resource for wildlife. Speaking of key deer, they are everywhere if you keep your eyes peeled, and they are so used to humans, they're quite approachable. But be warned, they are endangered, and it is illegal to feed or touch them. No bigger than a large dog, they go about their business all over Big Pine Key and the adjacent 20 smaller islands. When driving, keep 1 foot poised over that brake pedal because the fawns like to run out into the road and mama's never far behind. We put our skiff in using Palmer's boat ramp and passed under the overseas highway. We got some up-close views of the older bridge, now used solely for fishing. As we headed out, the Truman, a classic wooden boat used to bring passengers to the luxury resort, on Munson Island sped by. We anchored as soon as we spotted a good place that was protected by the wind and put in the paddle boards and snorkeled. Just south of Little Torch and Ramrod Keys lies the very popular Picnic Island, where you can anchor, explore, and relax while soaking in the tropic vibes. As nature lovers, we used our boards to venture over to an adjacent island where some magnificent frigate birds took refuge. This was a special sight because these oceanic flyers rarely land. Continuing our exploration, we found a beautiful queen conch snail. These are federally protected and must never be taken from their habitat. If you find one, make sure you replace it right where you found it. We packed up the boards, then headed farther out to explore the perimeter of Munson Island and, from a distance, the luxury getaway of Little Palm Island Resort, where the cheapest room is $1,800 per night. The water was crystal clear but very shallow as we circled the small island and compared its amenities to Palmer's Resort where we were staying. We couldn't tell the difference. Wink, wink.
It's party time.
The Peg Leg Penman knows a little bit about our feathered friends, so let's take a quick minute to discuss their breeding grounds. Florida has hundreds of thousands of acres where shorebirds like these wood storks and magnificent frigate birds annually raise young. Many of these nesting sites can be found quite near your hometown. Birds ranging from this tiny killdeer to the gigantic brown pelican, seen here flying in a squadron-like formation, make nests on Florida's shores and wetlands. Oystercatchers are one of the Peg Leg Penman's favorites, but you can find the nests of glossy ibis, anhingas, tricolored herons, and wood storks all over the state. Even this non-native Egyptian goose raises its young in Florida, but not all shorebirds set up nurseries here. For example, these cute sanderlings fly all the way to the Arctic tundra to nest every year. Let's talk about food. Looking for the no-name pub may once have been challenging when it was built back in 1936, but today it's easily found near the bridge that connects Big Pine Key to No Name Key. Once inside, you'll be floored by what's all over the ceiling. According to the management, there's over $800,000 in U.S. currency stapled to the walls, ceiling, and moldings. Once a general store, a brothel, and a bait shop, this rustic eatery will be hard to forget. Of course, the Peg Leg Penman had to add his dollar to the collection. Next, we travel to Ramrod Key and the famous Tiki Bar restaurant. This lively establishment has everything you'd need in the Keys: tequila, tacos, and Trivia Tuesdays. They even had the men's room ready for the Peg Leg Penman. Afterwards, we finished the evening at Boondocks across the street for dessert. This place is made to entertain, with live music, a courtyard filled with games, and even a putt-putt golf course. The last eatery we want to share with you is Kiki's Sandbar Bar and Grill on Little Torch Key. Accessible by boat or land, open and airy waterfront restaurant provides the sights, sounds, and savory menu items everyone looks for when visiting the Florida Keys. We watched this little blue land crab while waiting for our food to arrive. We want to give this episode's shout out to the musician who blessed us while dining at Kiki's, Austin B. Sweeney. Austin blazed a trail all the way to the Keys from the Pacific Northwest. His well-written songs and masterful guitar playing was top-notch. Follow him on social media at Austin B. Sweeney Music.
Today we reach our final road trip destination. From local hideaways to tourist hotspots, join us as we explore one of the most famous locations in Florida, Key West.
So few visits to the Florida Keys would be complete without at least a day trip to Key West. The tropical forest and botanical garden surprised us when we found displayed among their planting beds a collection of boats called Cuban chugs used by refugees. Once a Civil War fort, the East Martello Museum was the first museum in Key West and is rumored to be the haunted residence of Robert the Doll. When driving down Atlantic Boulevard, keep a sharp eye out for these hidden nature walks that lead to wildlife viewing areas where shorebirds feed and blue land crabs dig cities of subterranean tunnels. This one leads to your own private beach. Down the road at Higgs Beach, you'll find loads of history, including the African Cemetery and a pier that locals teasingly call the Road to Cuba. Right next door, you'll find the Key West Garden Club. Entry is free into this tropical garden paradise by the sea. It sits within another former Civil War fort. It has garden rooms to delight you, history to intrigue you, and the beach and sea to inspire you. Spend some time just meandering through the displays where tiny bonsais, calming fountains, and a beautiful butterfly garden awaits.
Please keep watching, but take a second to hit that like button.
By far the most encompassing tour in town is the conch train. Over the course of an hour, it passes by many of the parts of town, providing a rich historical commentary, including the legends of Ernest Hemingway and other lores of this charming tropical paradise. Time for breakfast. Old Town Bakery is home to the ginger snap crust key lime pie. This unique take on a Keys classic was tangy and sweet. Halfway through the day, some good downpours came through the island and flooded the streets. If you're going to visit in the rainy season from May to October, be sure to come prepared for wet feet. Afterward, we found this rare white-crowned pigeon drying off. With narrow roads and challenging parking, you might want to embrace the culture and rent a scooter or golf cart for your exploration. And if you plan on taking a selfie in front of the famous and hugely popular southernmost Point Buoy, either arrive early or be prepared to wait your turn.
It's party time.
Why does Key West have more roosters than people at sunrise? These aren't escapees. They're the unofficial mayors of the island. Back in the day, locals kept chickens for eggs and meat. When Key West modernized and grocery stores took over, people let them go. Then, Cuban immigrants brought fighting roosters. Those escaped too. Fast forward, and boom, feral chickens everywhere. And here's the twist. They've adapted. These birds are smart, fast, and genetically unique from barnyard chickens. Researchers even study them to learn about urban animal behavior. Now they strut through traffic, nap in flower pots, and yes, they crow all day, not just in the morning. Why? Because no one told them not to. Only in Key West does your alarm clock have feathers, free range, and an attitude. After that revelation, we're going to need some rum at the Key West First Legal Rum Distillery. They give free tours where you'll learn and experience the distilling process firsthand. Be sure to participate in the free rum tasting afterwards. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, Fort Zachary Taylor. Predating the Civil War, this National Historic Monument houses the largest cache of Civil War armament in the world. After all that history, we snorkeled right at the fort, and in our opinion, it's the best beach in Key West for viewing underwater life through the clear water. We even spotted an invasive lionfish. Not finding any shipwrecks at the beach, we visited one of the Peg Leg Penman's favorite museums, the Shipwreck and Treasure Museum. After discussing the deep and touching subject of missing body parts with this salty fellow, we bought tickets, $17 each, and headed in. With no lack of good old pirate humor, we explored the busy displays through winding passages and stairwells and interacted with the exhibits. At the top of the observation tower, we were gifted with this incredible bird's eye view of the entire town and surrounding tropical waters. It was worth the climb. As you head back down, you'll learn how modern treasure hunters still seek the wreck's secrets today. Across the street, at the Hog's Breath Saloon, we were treated to live music, drinks, barbecue pork nachos, and a visit by some cheeky chickens. You won't be doing any high-speed driving while in town, especially after all the rum. As you meander through the quirky, colorful heart of the Conch Republic, you'll pass the neighborhood outside of Truman Waterfront Park, filled with homes that showcase a blend of Caribbean, Bahamian, Victorian, and Floridian vernacular architecture. When reaching the Truman Waterfront Park, be sure to take a free look at the impressive Coast Guard ship Ingham. They do offer tours of the interior for a fee. Right next door is the Florida Keys Eco Discovery Center. Entry is free, and there are many interactive displays. In your travels, be sure to stop at the City Marina, where an entire houseboat village awaits. Some of these are vacation rentals, but all are unique and worth a walk down the docks to take in their splendor. One neat place to shop is the historic and famous Kino Sandal Store. All their sandals are hand-cut, assembled, and glued in their traditional sandal factory since 1966. On the way to dinner, we passed the historic Strand Theater, which opened its doors in 1921, but it's now a Walgreens. Being fans of Jimmy Buffett, we just had to stop at the original Margaritaville restaurant, a landmark on Duval Street. The lively atmosphere didn't disappoint, especially when our margaritas and cheeseburger in paradise arrived. After dinner, we continued touring the architecture of Key West. Even the Hard Rock Cafe has embraced the lifestyle down here. Sloppy Joe's Bar, once a favorite haunt of Ernest Hemingway, still puts on a show and serves refreshing drinks. Captain Tony's, the original Sloppy Joe's, is right down the block with more live music and interesting decor choices. After Sloppy Joe's, we passed by numerous shops on our way to the famous Mallory Square, where everyone gathers nightly to watch talented street performers and the incredible sunsets. Once that sun goes down, the festival keeps going with live music, dancing, more shopping, and dining. The Peg Leg Penman approves.
That wraps up our day in Key West, Florida. In the comments, please recommend another Florida adventure you'd like the Peg Leg Penman to explore. If you enjoyed our video, please like, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate your support.